this side so much.
Can you pull it towards you?
Yeah. I don't know why it's trying to go that way either.
So we're gonna go ahead and pack it back here. Get those put in what they might have seen the bearing factor.
Some encouragement.
Yeah, look, you got my hair all messed up. Anyway, welcome back to How's It Doing Garage. Today we're back on re-LS swapping Uncle Buck. I'm gonna get the old wire harness out, some of the interior out because the wire harness underneath the seat, blah blah blah. And then we're gonna start running the new wire harness and laying out some of the new components and just make sure they're all fit. Then we're gonna pull the motor back out, and my buddy Nick's gonna come over and then we're gonna paint it all. So me and Trey are gonna get after it while I force Wesley to sweep the floor over here because he's an electrician and sweeping's about the only thing he could do worth a crap. So yeah. I ain't wiring your park back up yet. I've had a day. We've had a day over here. How's It Doing Garage? Me and Trey have had to deal with Wesley all day. Went to the junkyard this morning, and we just had to deal with Wesley all day. All I got to say all day. I'm gonna wire it up, and every time he turns on, it's gonna shock. Are you gonna sweep that you're stepping on, or what? All right, so this is the inside of Uncle Buck. So the computer is underneath the seat. Convenient enough, eh? So what we're gonna do is get the seat out. We're gonna get the carpet out. I got new carpet coming, or actually it's already here. So we're gonna pull the seat out, pull the carpet out, probably pull. There's some wiring and stuff under behind the dash. Gonna undo that. Probably gonna take the gauge cluster out because we got to get to some wiring for the Dakota Digital for the BIM module and stuff. I got to unplug, and yeah. So I'm gonna hang this GoPro up and then we're gonna get after it. Holy Moses!
Have you ever cleaned? Why is there tissues in here, man?
I don't know. Oh, hey, there's a freaking walkie-talkie back here. Man, this walkie-talkie been riding around in here for a while too, because where it's been rubbing on the floor is all wore off. Look, it's got a groove wore in it. Oh yeah. Already put some deadener on the back of the boys. No.
What are you stuck on? The carpet.
You coming, Trey?
I bet this side. I'll throw this screw back in.
Got everything stripped out of the cab, except for that AC vent hose. Dash pad out. I'm getting ready to remove my gauge bezel. We have the Scotch driver shortened column, so it's a little short, so you can't get the gauge bezel off around the HVAC controls because the column's shortened. So you got to actually drop the column to get the bezel off. Not a big deal. It's not like I'm dropping a bezel every day. But anyways, Trey's getting me the socket really quick. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull the Dakota Digital gauges out. I did notice that the gauges, some of the standoffs are actually broken on the gauges. I knew one was broken when I got the gauges because I got them secondhand. But I noticed now the other one's busted. It's probably due to them flopping around in there because the other thing was broken. So I'm going to have to call Dakota. It's Saturday now, so I'll have to call them on like Monday and see if we could get a a replacement on them little standoffs that would screw on there. But yeah, we'll get these taken out, and then we'll start running our wires from over there. I've got the wires we need all loomed up. I'm gonna run them over this way to the fuse box and the Dakota Digitals, because some of them are gonna go to the Dakota Digitals, and then you got the pedal and all that. So we're just gonna start getting that figured out. We have the diesel pedal in it now, but we're gonna take that out and we're gonna go to a Camaro pedal, which I have a pedal bracket from Tejas Steelworks. We're gonna put it on the firewall, and then you bolt the pedal to that. So we're gonna take that pedal out and then get the new pedal put in here too, and then wire that up. So at least that'll be done.
That's some of the hardest wire to organize behind the dash.
Yeah, well, it's like you get it all done. Like, this is like the worst part I always hate about doing people's trucks is you get like everything all done, and then they're like, oh, I want cruise control also. And then you're like, oh, well, I've already loomed up your whole harness.
It's got to be redone.
Well, I want cruise control. So then you're like, okay, well, now I got to either do it the right way or take all the wires out of the stinking dash and add in the wires for the cruise control, or I put them over top and tape them on there, you know, and it's just...
It doesn't look as good.
Takes up a ton more time. So, you know,
yep.
Like these are just wires for the weight, which these wires go to here. You go up right there. See where that thing's moving in the dash?
Yep, right. That one.
Yeah.
That spins down and goes out the firewall. Actually, hold on, goes down and comes back over this way. That's the rear stickers.
This one?
Let's see. Is it the that one right there I'm pulling? Yeah. So it comes all the way back. It splits off and goes to this front speaker, and then it splits off and goes down and goes to the back speaker.
What is this? Alright guys, so me and Trey have removed the wiring from the old Gen 3. So this hole is already in the firewall from the stock motor, the 4.3 that originally came in this truck. So I just reused it when we did the original LS swap, because I wasn't gonna like paint the firewall and all that, and I still am not gonna do that. So we're gonna reuse this hole. So we've pulled all the old crap out and you know, got rid of it. So for the new engine, we're running the same company, BP Automotive. I use them exclusively unless a customer like actually has to have something else. I use BP Automotive in everything. Instructions are super detailed. It comes with all the parts, pieces, everything. Lengths on all the wires are correct. They're not too long, they're not too short. So everything's nice and labeled, which, you know, once you get it all wired up, you just go through and just take all the labels off, clean it up. But everything's there. It's all nice, neat, tucked up. Crimps are good. Never really had any issues at all from BP. I think the only issue I've ever had from them is like a ordering issue on their website. I think one time their website wouldn't let me add a part to their cart, and I just emailed them and then figured it out. But I use all their stuff almost exclusively on all of my LS and LT swaps. But one thing I haven't done is used their Gen 4 kit in the square body. So I'm really trying to get the computer back under the seat, but it doesn't have to go under the seat. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to mock it up behind the glove box and just put it behind the glove box, I think, because I don't think it's going to be long enough to go behind the seat again. Plus the way the Gen 4 harness is with the fuse box and everything, I really want to be able to get to the fuse box, where with the Gen 3 harness, the fuse box was still under the dash and the computer was under the seat. So I still want to be able to access the fuse box, just in case. Plus, all this other atrocious wiring that I have in here for my sound system, we need to fix that, because that's a no bueno. And then we're going to dynomat, or not dynomat, I think we're going to kill mat the floor in this before we put it back, all the carpet back in. So, what we're going to do now is me and Trey are going to diligently try and stuff this wiring harness through that little hole. Yeah, so it took us like 30 minutes to get the old wiring harness out, so it's probably going to take us like 4.5 hours to get this back in. So I'm going to feed this behind the HVAC through the little tiny hole. The innocent Trey waiting on the other side. You're using a lot of finger, Trey. Hold on there, Yankee McGee. So we got the wire in. So it goes up behind here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the computer up here under the dash and make a little bracket, mount it up under here, and then the fuse box for the ECU, we're going to make a little bracket and mount it up right behind the glove box, so you'll be able to just pull the little thing and just open the glove box, and you'll be able to get to all the fuses and everything. So it should work out pretty good. And then you got the wiring harness all the way through, so it's going to come out here and then just basically loop down and go behind the engine. All the injector wires and everything will come down the intake and then, you know, come out this way and basically be hidden. So the only wires you should be able to see is, which we're going to remake this AC line, but there'd be a transducer wire for the AC and then like the throttle body and stuff like that. But everything else will be hidden. So hopefully you won't be able to see any of it. So, yeah. So we've got the ECU mounted, the fan relay box, the fuse box for the computers mounted, moved all the speakers, cleaned up a bunch of wiring, and I think we're almost done here as far as the wiring, but I got a couple more things to do, so I'll show you what I come up with on the ECU. So I built this bracket here, and then I nut-inserted it to the cowl, and then this is where I mounted the fan relay box for the electric fans, and then the relay and fuse box for the ECU. And then I mounted the ECU right up here on the cowl, and then the wiring for the ECU, sorry with the shaky camera, so the engine wiring comes through the firewall behind this box and goes through this bracket, goes up through the bracket, comes around, and then goes up to the computer. And then we have the data port wire and the pedal wire are going over to the other side of the truck. And then we've got some extra wires here that I'm not going to use, so I'm just going to zip tie these up out of the way. And then these wires here are coming out of the ECU, and these are the trigger wires for the electric fans. And then over here we have the wiring for the electric fans. We have power in, power out, and then the trigger wires for the electric fans. So I'm going to take the wires for the power in and the power out for the fans. They're going to go down the floor out towards the back of the cab, and there's a grommet there. I'm going to run them wires out there and then shoot the two wires towards the front and then the other wire towards the back where the battery is. So that way I don't add any wires coming out of the firewall. So there's no additional wires coming out of the grommet of the firewall. There's just the grommet for the engine wires coming out, and not a whole bunch of extra wires coming in and out. So that'll be good. That'll make it, you know, a lot cleaner anyway. And yeah, so now all I have left to do is, like I said, I forgot to order a pedal, so I got a pedal coming. You know, put the pedal in, plug it in, basically. The wire is, I mean, it's like this much too long to get to the pedal, so that's perfect. The data port, or OBD connector, it's not long enough to make it all the way over to the other side of the cab. So I'm going to have the data port's going to be about in the middle of the cab, up under the dash. I'm going to mount it in there somewhere. That'll be fine. I'm going to solder in the BIM module for the Dakotas, so I don't have to worry about plugging and unplugging that. That'll be premium. The Dakota digital gauges, I've already kind of rewired them, so that wiring's all good. We've ordered sound deadener. We're going to sound deaden the cab, and then run these wires through here over top of sound deadener, obviously. And then when that's all done, we'll be able to put all this back together. But the motor's ready to come back out. I've got all my data I need as far as that. So that's all good. This is all good. I'll show you again. Which I've already test fitted the glove box back in here. I mean, it barely fits, but it does fit. So, you know, we're going with that. The heater duct for the AC comes around nicely, so that's good. Everything clears. The speaker clears, all that. I can get the connector on and off with the speaker. It's tight, but you know, you can get it off and on. So once we get the sound deadener in, we'll sound deaden it and then, you know, carry on from there. All right, yo. So we got the inside scrub-a-lub-dubbed up. Went over it with degreaser, wax and grease remover, and then some good old glass cleaner. Had a slight little bit of rust over there. We converted it, so we're ready to go now. I'm gonna start putting the sound deadener in here, and then the carpet, and then we're gonna mount the amp and radio and speaker back in here. I'm not gonna do anything super crazy with a mount, because in the future I anticipate I'm gonna get at one of them slosh boxes from Slosh Tubs. So I'm not gonna do like a crazy contraption, because I'm just gonna end up, you know, throwing it away in the future. But I'm going to set the camera up and start laying down this sound deadener. So I like to tape up the seams just so you don't get the butyl sticking all over everything. And I kind of try and do this as I go. Well, it's literally just like aluminum foil with tape on, or stickiness on one side of it. You just stick it on there, and anywhere where you have a seam, and it just kind of keeps you from having to lean on into that sticky butylness.
Today on How's It Doing Garage, we're putting in sound deadener in Uncle Buck. We're taping the seams.
So I'm almost finished the sound deadener. I just want to show you, it actually went in and sound deadened the inside of the doors. I did as much of the door as I could get my hand into. I got these, thick Gorilla mitts. So, and I even did inside the outside of the door. So, door's pretty good now. Whole inside is all done. I've even gone inside the B pillar as much as I can fit in there. I did the other door, and then now I'm gonna put new door cards on the bottom of the door. I had these little stainless screws with the little stainless washer. I thought they looked kind of good, so I use those. I'm gonna put it back in the factory holes. I transfer the holes, so I'm gonna put it back on. I'm gonna clean the door up a little bit more, and then we're gonna put them on here. So.
Did it come pretty dirty?
What?
This little thingy.
Pretty dirty.
Looks a little dirty. Dirty truck, dirty parts.
Shut up, Anna. Meanie face.
Ta-da! It's like a whole new door. Except for the dent.
So one other thing we got along with new carpet is a carpeted back panel. So these are basically just held on with double-sided tape and Velcro. Takes a little minute to get lined up, but once I get in there, they look pretty cool. Yeah, push like that way. There you go. Keep pushing. Push the corner back in. There you go. So I have, obviously we're all done with sound enter. I've got the doors all put back together. With the new door cards on the bottom, sound dead in the doors. In the future, we aren't going to get new door panels. It's just not in the budget right now because they are pretty expensive. But we do need them. We do need them. These are 1986s, so they're but they clean up, except for that driver's one. That one looks like the booty. But anyway, I've got all the speaker wires ran. It comes down here. I've got the fan wire running. The battery is underneath the back of the cab. So the power for the fans runs through. There's a grommet here. And then the wire feeds to the battery. And then the two wires that go to the fan exit the cab there and then are going to go up to the front of the truck. So just that way I don't have to poke any extra wires through the firewall or anything like that. So, it'll just look a little cleaner. I've got the speaker wire and the key on power wire for the radio ran over here. We got the back panel in. So this here is what I'm going to just temporarily use to mount the amp and the Bluetooth receiver to. Like I said before, in the future I want to get a slosh sub box back here, but it just can't happen right now. So I'm gonna mount the amp and then the Bluetooth receiver here, run all the wires under the carpet so you can't really see them. The carpet should come up and then go here, and then I'm just gonna drill and nutsert this to the floor. So yeah, it's just a little 1/8 inch aluminum bracket. I had some scrap aluminum laying around, so I just sheared it out and bent it real quick. I'm gonna go drill some holes in it, mount the amp and all that to it, and then, you know, set it on the floor, and then we'll put the carpet down. I'll cut all the holes for the carpet, and then we should be about done. So for the carpet, like again, we went with ACC carpet. This carpet, I opted for the mass backing. So it's like a rubber backing on here. I find that when you get the mass backing on these carpets, the carpet kind of holds shape a lot better than when you just get the regular carpet. So I always opt for that. Plus, it's kind of like sound deadener attached to the carpet, so it offers just a little bit more of noise reduction also. And like any carpet kit that you buy, there is going to be trimming somewhere that needs to be done. It's not just going to fall right in there and fit. This carpet, when you get the mass backing, it's actually got little punch outs too for where the seats go. But before you go punching them out, get your carpet put in there and make sure that everything's lining up before you go whacking holes in it, because you're going to find real quick that the holes aren't in the right spot. Sometimes. Yeah, this carpet fits really well, actually. I'm kind of impressed. It almost doesn't need any trimming. The front doesn't need any trimming, really. Rip my speaker wires up in there. Yeah, this fits really well. This isn't going to be a huge deal either if we cut this carpet around here, because when we get Slosh Subs box, it's going to cover up this whole back panel. So you're not even going to see this carpet really. You're just going to see this part, and then this is all going to be subs. So where we cut it out here, it's not really going to matter all that much in the future. So I'm not really worried about cutting it out. Frog me through. All right, so carpet's in. I've got the carpet tucked up behind the back panel. Hidden most of the wiring under the carpet. Got the holes cut for the seat bolts. Seat belt holes cut. Needs good vacuuming. Smells like a new car. So next all we're going to do is put the kick panels back in, wire the kick panels, put the rear speakers in, and then I've got a couple wires I got to do under the dash. I got to mount the data port, and then I'm going to solder in the BIM module for the Dakota, and then put the dash back on, and basically kind of chill and wait for the motor.
Your steering wheel's in the way.
No, bring it back a little bit. Alright guys, so we got the seat back in, got my sub back in. I've decided not to put the two cab corner speakers back in. I just didn't really like the way they looked after I got the carpet in here and everything. And I'm not like a huge sound guy, so it doesn't bother me that they're not gonna be back there. You know, I don't need all of that for talk radio, but you know, plus it's just a little cleaner. And when I put them in there, they looked all, you know, too busy and clustered up. But we got the seat in here. This is like a constant issue. The more fancy things that do to the truck, the more the not fancy things stick out really bad. So Anna really loves this seat because it's like an original seat. It did come out of like a 78 model, so it doesn't have the seat belt holes, but Anna really likes the seat. And I mean, I don't mind it, but it's just sitting right there for right now. But it is dirty. It needs to be cleaned up. It is comfortable, but it is dirty. It needs to be cleaned. It doesn't have any rips or tears or anything in it, but it's just, you know, once you get the nice carpet in there and everything like that, now the door panels are sticking out even more because they're all beat up, and now the seat's gonna be sticking out because it's all beat up, and you know, baby steps. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. In the next video, we'll be painting the motor, putting the motor back in, putting the front clip back on, firing the motor, and all of that. And then we actually have one more super special thing we're gonna do to the truck. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the next video or if it's going to be in its own separate video, but we have one more thing we're going to do to the truck before this version of it's done and back on the road. But for now, this is going to do it for what we're going to do for Uncle Buck on this video. Y'all hit the subscribe button, throw us a comment down below, let us know what you think of the new interior setup and new wiring and all that other jazz we've done to Uncle Buck, and we'll see you on the next video.